O'Neill and the special guest host, Attorney Jerome Pay. Live TV talk on your digital device, on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the SVP TV app right now. Check us out every Tuesday on Comcast Cable, Channel 17, 8:30 p.m. And we are live every Friday on Facebook Live, 6 o'clock in the evening. You've got a question, our attorneys have the answer. So let's talk law with Attorney Daryl O'Neill on the SVP TV network.
Welcome to Talking Law with Daryl O'Neill. I'm your host. I got my main man, Jerome.
What's going on, Daryl O'Neill?
I'm good, man. We had a holiday in between, and
Yes,
we back in the saddle
Back
again.
in the saddle again.
You know, today we want to talk to you because this is the time of the year, and this has been happening all throughout the year. But at this time of the year, people are really susceptible to scams.
Yes.
So we want to talk about scams and protecting yourself in a scam scenario. So let's give our shout outs, Jerome. Shout outs to California. Shout outs to Little Rock, Arkansas. Shout outs to West Memphis, Arkansas. Shout outs to Memphis, Shelby County. Shout out to Mississippi. Shout out to the great state of Missouri. Shout out to Jerome's family.
Hey, family.
And shout out to my family.
All right.
If you have Facebook Live, YouTube Live, the SVP TV network app, what's it, the other one? Roku, Fire Stick, or Apple. You can actually, number will be on the screen. You got a question, you got a concern, call in.
Right, in real time.
Real time.
No matter what we're talking about, we will take the time.
We will stop
and answer your question.
So, Jerome, here's what's happening, man. So there's a couple scams that are going on.
Okay.
And the scarier the scam, the more vulnerable you are. Okay? You hear that?
Yeah, I heard you.
The scarier the scam, the more vulnerable you are.
I got you.
So one scam that they do is that they will contact you and tell you that your MLG&W bill or some of that nature is behind.
Right.
And if you don't come and take care of it, they're going to cut you off.
Right.
Okay.
And send them
Bitcoin,
send them some kind of
right now.
Yeah. Right. Otherwise
we're going to cut
you're in the dark.
Yeah.
Now, who's not going to respond to that, Daryl? Because as cold as it is,
the scarier the scam.
You're right. You said that.
But we need to understand a few things.
Yeah.
Number one, MLG&W is not going to call you and tell you we're going to cut you off. Not like they will call you,
Right.
or you could possibly get a call.
Right.
But that's not how it happens. Usually they're going to send you notice, cut off notices, shut down notices. They're going to send you something.
You said that. Well, I don't know. I'm glad that they will call me, man, before they shut me off, O'Neill. So,
well, but that's what they want you to believe.
But you believe you're gonna get shut off.
You're gonna get, because that's not how that works.
I understand.
And think about it from this perspective.
Right.
MLG&W provides services to over 1 million people.
Right.
So how do they have time to make phone calls?
Right.
They don't have time to get the bills out on time. Remember, at one point, bills were behind.
That's exactly right.
And the people, the next thing they know, they were double billed.
Right.
They send you a disconnect or shut off notice. Now, if it's extremely hot, they will not cut you off.
That's true.
And if it's extremely cold, they won't cut you off.
That's true.
So, you got to be paying attention here to the rules.
And I think you're absolutely correct, because some things just stand out as possibly being scamish.
Right.
Because if I'm going to buy a gift card and give you the code off of it to pay my bill, that tells you right there that something's wrong with that. So they're never going to have you to do that, for sure.
Right.
And so you got to be winter wise,
Right.
and utility wise, apparently, too.
Well,
so
okay,
that won't happen to you, right?
Again, remember I told you, the scarier the scam,
Right.
the more likely are you to fall victim to. So here's another scam they got going out. So somebody will call you and say, this is Sheriff so-and-so, right? And that you didn't show up for jury duty.
Right.
And because you didn't show up for jury duty, either you pay this fine or we're going to arrest you. Well, then they'll tell you, we'll give you a location where you can pay it at. Not down in, not down in, general,
201.
201,
yeah.
or the courts.
Or any of the court systems. But way out east somewhere, maybe.
They have these little places that you can go and pay.
Oh, the kiosks.
Some kind of kiosks, and they'll send you to a kiosk,
Right.
and tell you what to put in, and you pay it. Here's the problem. Again, remember I told you, the scarier the scam, the more likely you fall victim to. Most people realize, hey, wait a minute, I am registered to vote. Did I have jury duty? Did I miss that? Let me tell you something here. Let me tell you something. You ain't got to worry about if you miss jury duty. You ain't got to worry about it. You know why? The sheriff will come and get you right then. If you miss jury duty, they're going to come get you.
They're coming to get you there, huh?
If you miss jury duty in the federal court, the U.S. Marshals will be at your doorstep to come and get you.
Yeah.
They're not calling you. Hey, you missed jury. They are not calling you. The judge is going to send them to your house to come get you. The other thing is, you didn't miss jury duty because before you get called for jury duty, they send you a list of dates that you're going to have to, possibly be available for. They'll tell you to call in. They'll tell you, you'll show up the first day. They explain all the rules to you. And then they'll tell you, in the federal system, you're on jury duty for like a week, I think. Or it's a period of time. It's not like one day. And they'll call you, and they'll tell you. They're not going to call you. They tell you to call and check in. Okay? They're not going to call you.
Suppose you forget all of that, Daryl, and all of a sudden, somebody says, hey, you missed, and you say, wow, man, maybe I did.
You did. If you think you missed,
Right.
you probably did
miss, right?
But you ain't going to pay your way out of it.
Right.
Paying your way out of it is not going to help you.
Right.
Now, the first time that happened, I had a client call me, and then the guy said, well, this is from the federal court. I said, federal court? I thought you said you were Shelby County. So he actually called us. He was talking to me because my client gave me the information. I called him up and I said, hey, this is Attorney O'Neill. I need to speak to so-and-so, so-and-so. And he said, yeah. He said, and he played the scam all the way through.
Really?
Yeah.
And knowing that you were an attorney,
yeah.
too?
I said, what was the name of the judge? He named some judge, and we know all the judges.
Yes.
He named some judge I ain't never heard of.
Okay.
I said, okay. I said, well, I'll get back to you. He said, well, we're not going to arrest your client. This is a civil
matter.
A civil jury problem, and we're not going to, she's not going to be arrested, but she does have to bond herself out, and this bond is just paying this fine. So first thing I did is I had my client call the police department and file a police report. And the great thing that they did is, what you think the great thing they did?
Is that they wrote a report.
Nothing.
They didn't do anything?
They did nothing.
What they write a memo or something.
I don't know what they did, but
Yeah,
they never re-interviewed my client.
Really?
They never investigated it. They never took, because my client, the number worked. I called the number.
Right.
So she gave them the number, she did everything. Nothing ever happened with that. Because I asked her, what's the status or whatever happened with it. She said nothing. The police never got back to me on
It just disappeared all of a sudden.
They did nothing.
Yeah.
But my client and put them on notice, that right there potentially could have saved thousands of people that would have fallen victim to that scam.
That's true.
My client was so scared. My client's 60, she's 68, 69.
Oh, man.
And
that's what they prey on the elderly,
yeah, the
too.
older you are,
Yeah, right, the more vulnerable you are. Yeah.
So then what I did, though, Jerome, is I called the federal court and told the judge's clerk.
Oh, about the number
that,
and
that
everything.
somebody is doing. I left that message with the judge's clerk.
Wow.
Let me tell you how much. Let me tell you what they did with it.
They investigated it.
They did nothing.
So nobody's doing
They
anything.
did
on
nothing.
there.
They didn't even call me back.
The judges.
I left a message with the judge's clerk. You know, I'm a licensed attorney.
Right.
I am licensed in federal court. I'm in federal court a lot of times. So I figured if I'm saying this is a real problem.
At least when they saw you in court or something, they would call you over and say, "Hey, we did take a look at that." Nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
Never received a phone call.
Wow.
Then all of a sudden, things must have started happening. More people was getting scammed. Because what ended up happening is now you see it on the news.
Yeah.
You see the
you're right.
MLGNW now talking. They talk about the MLGNW scam on the news.
You're right.
They talk about, you know, most of these people are not going to call you to do these things. So the other thing that happened, and that's how the lady called. I had another client. She was at work, handicapped lady, you know, sharp lady, but she got, you know, she's handy. She got other physical issues.
Yeah.
She calls me. She's frantic. She's frantic. I said, "What's going on?" She says, "Oh my God, you know, I just got a call from the sheriff and they said I missed jury duty." I said, "Really?" I said, "Ma'am, slow down. I got." She was in her car, had left her job,
Trying to get there.
trying to get down to where they wanted her to pay.
Wow.
I happened to get back to her, luckily, before she got too far gone. I called her. I said, hey, what's going on?" She said, "Attorney O'Neal, I said, whoa. Stop. That's a scam."
Right.
She said, "You sure?" I said, "I tell you what. If it's a problem, tell them come see me.
Okay.
You know, tell them call your lawyer, and we'll deal with it from that perspective."
Okay.
You know, but she was on her way. Most people
I can
don't have that ability
That's true.
to, you know, I mean, I represent the teachers union, and she happened to be a teacher.
Oh, okay.
So, but if she would have been everyday citizen, she wouldn't have been able to pick the phone up and call.
And she would have been
Like
out
you
of
guys
how
get to
much?
do when we on the air.
That's right.
You know,
Well, how much were they trying to charge her, O'Neal?
I think it's something like $400 or $500.
Yeah, so that's within most people's budget too.
Right, yeah.
When they're on a crunch like that.
Right,
But
right.
but there's another scam too, is that they write you a letter and saying that you missed a toll. That's the next one coming up, right?
That is the next
Right.
one. Well, they do that. I'm glad you said that, Jerome.
Right.
They do that two ways.
Right.
The first way, I don't know how this happened.
Right.
They actually text you.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get a text, a random text that say, "Hey, you didn't pay your toll fee."
Right.
Wait a minute. And
What toll?
it's from New York or somewhere,
Right.
New York or
That's
New
right.
Jersey. You say, "Wait a minute," because the first time I got it, I was
Right.
like,
When was the last time I was in
That's
New York?
exactly what I said. When was the last time that I hit the turnpike?
Right.
Because, you know, it's the New Jersey Turnpike. It's the one in Philadelphia, becoming between Philadelphia and New Jersey. And then obviously it's the New Jersey, and New York. You know, so I have been through all of those, but not the same time.
Right.
You know, so my last, it was 2017, 18 maybe, before COVID and all that. 2018, I think I was in New York. I was in Fort Dix, New Jersey, and you know, I went to visit New York. Did a walkabout in New York.
Right.
So when I got that text, I was like, because you know, you don't pay, you can't throw money in it.
That's exactly right. That's the same thing that you have coming from Chicago, going to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
They used to have the toll booths there now, but now they use the cameras.
Yes,
now.
yeah, like
so
a-
you
yeah.
just run through there and they take the pictures
Yeah,
of the license
yeah,
plate.
right.
And then it may be a month or so before you hear from them too after that.
But that's different, Jerome.
Right.
Because what they'll send you is a copy of a picture with you in it.
That's true.
With your car, your tags,
That's true.
and say that you didn't pay the toll.
That's true.
Kind of like the photo tickets that we get if you run a light or something here.
That's true.
You'll get a photo ticket. Ain't no doubt it's you.
Right.
You know, and you
It's
know.
your vehicle, because
It's your vehicle.
someone else could be
Yeah,
driving
somebody
the
else could
vehicle.
be. It's your vehicle.
That's right,
It's your tag, you know,
That's
and
right.
that person did in fact run that light.
That's
you
right.
know. So, you know, I mean, But gotta pay attention. Gotta pay attention. Because here's the thing. If you get anything in an email or a text that you don't know where it come from, and it has a link or something that you can click on, if you click on it, it's over.
Right. That's valuable there too, because that's the whole idea, is to get you to click on it.
Yeah.
Then you're exposing your entire system to this scam.
Yeah.
So whatever you do, don't do that.
Yeah, don't. So let me, and you'll see this, and people do this, Jerome. I mean, and everybody's different. You got lawyers that have Gmail, Hotmail. You got lawyers that have AOL. I used to have AOL.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you why I got rid of AOL. Next thing I know, I'm getting emails sent. I'm sending emails to everybody, and my emails are telling people, you got an outstanding invoice.
Right.
So I'm sending, my email is sending all of these people information that said I have an outstanding invoice. And so when somebody told me about it, I was like, that didn't come from me.
Right.
And then they said, well, you've been hacked.
Right. It's coming from your email, right?
And my office, this happened in, I don't want to say, I mean, maybe 13 that this happened, 2012, 2011, somewhere in that neighborhood. I had this AOL account. Again, I ain't had the AOL in 15, 16, maybe at least 13 years. No, at least 18 years. Anyway, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Right.
Because I got hacked. And then not only did it hack my email, because it was in my system, it corrupted all of my Word documents.
Oh my goodness.
Every Word document I had ended up with a date of it 2000. It ended up with February 28, 2015 or 14, one of them days.
Wow.
Is what it ended up with. So that gave me the date of the virus. I basically, and then they give you a number. Excuse me. They give you a number that you can call
to unlock it.
To unlock it.
Right.
And you got to pay money to unlock it. Well, guess what? You pay that money, you still may not get it unlocked.
Right.
So the only thing you can do is, again, what I did was quarantine.
And then what it says too is, don't attempt to turn your computer off. You must call this number in order to get us to remove it. But I always just hit the button, turn it off anyway.
Yeah. Well,
because when it comes back up, a lot of times it's gone.
Well, so here's what you.
So what's going on with that?
Again, that's you got the bug in there.
Okay.
I mean, you got something that's in there, and and it'll corrupt your computer. And I tell you where you get these things bad. You know how people are always going on all these weird sites and looking at things.
Yes.
Just different. I mean, I'm not talking about anything nefarious. Just sites, and it tells you this site is not safe, and you go on that site, and then that site has those viruses and bugs.
That's true.
And you've already clicked on a site, so you've opened yourself up to it, right?
That's true.
And so now it has all these viruses and bugs in there, and those viruses and bugs are on your computer. But what I found out early on, when I was I thought I was really smart, what you can do is you can reset your computer to a date certain, and it will basically kill that corruption.
Oh, okay.
So you can reset, you can backdate your computer.
Does Tony still do your computers?
He does.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't do all that now.
Right.
But before, man, I used to do all this stuff myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but now, I mean, it's just too many.
You're too busy to do that.
Yeah,
anyway.
and it's too much stuff going on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Tony, that he does my stuff.
Right.
Man, Tony, man, I mean, do something that'll take me 30, 40 minutes, man. Tony knocking out in 5 or 10 minutes. Calling me all kinds of names. Talking about, what you doing, young blood?
Right.
But the scamming thing, because you hear all these identity things.
Yes.
So I don't know how. That's the one thing I don't know, Jerome. If somebody, because they'll also steal your property.
Wow.
They will actually, and they don't even come to you.
Wow.
So you should all, and we had, what's his name? You wasn't here. We have Willie
Yeah,
Brooks
Brooks
on.
Hill, yeah.
And one of the things they will do is they will do this little fishing thing. They'll find a piece of property, and then they will do a quick claim deed on that property. And then now they've had the deed transferred to whatever, and then they all of a sudden start getting mortgages on those deeds.
I'm just thinking, I'm trying to think that through a little bit.
Because
the register of deed, they have to accept what comes to the desk
They do.
as long as the chain is correct.
Well, they don't do the chain.
Yeah,
So that's what people don't realize.
Right.
So the registered deed does not transfer property for you.
right.
So what ends up happening is if you file because if you file just a blank piece of paper, the registered deed's job is to file that blank
It's
piece of
to
paper.
file it, right.
Yeah, I mean that's their job.
Right.
Maybe that's too simple.
Right.
But they don't have a job of, they do it, but I don't think, my understanding is not proper.
Well, I'm
They-
thinking I think I've seen them reject a
Exactly.
document if the chain is not proper.
No, so that's not them.
That's not okay.
No, so what ends up happening is the register, like for instance, if you do a quick claim deed,
Right.
and you're missing like the address on the top of it because they got specifics that they want. The person who did
The person who
person's
prepared the document,
paying the
right.
taxes,
Right. That's right.
and then where the tax bills are going to go. They want that in there.
And the parcel ID number.
They want the parcel ID number. in there.
Right.
So they will reject your document for those things.
Right.
They're not really supposed to.
Right.
Because their job is to file it.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, their job is to it's the register
of deeds.
You can file a will down there.
Right.
You can register a will. So you can register anything.
Okay.
But it might not necessarily transfer your property from point A to point B.
Right.
That's done by the assessor.
Oh.
So the assessor goes behind and checks that chain of title. That's how that happens. So most people don't realize that.
But also too, there I see some other things too there because somebody's going to be on the line for that too. The person who notarized that document,
That's a fictitious person.
even the notary.
Everything is fictitious.
Okay.
This is what happened with the Elvis Presley scenario.
Okay, I got you.
The lady said they had this fictitious company that said that Lisa Marie Presley had borrowed
Borrow some
money,
right?
and then they were trying to collect that debt. And for borrowing that money, what she did was she signed over her interest in Graceland.
Right. Okay.
Now, to the naked eye, damn, if that happens, and suppose the lady came up with manufactured documents and all this other nonsense, now that lady in jail now, right?
Yeah.
But again, that's the scam. How crazy are you? Let me just tell you, even if that debt was legitimate, do you think any court in Memphis or in Shelby County would allow Graceland to be transferred like that?
No.
An investor would have came in and paid it off.
That's right. That's right.
No possible way.
That's right.
Anyway, we just knew that it was some nonsense, right?
Right.
So my whole point to you is, what Willie Brooks does is they actually have a fraud alert. They have an alert program. And if it's free, you should sign up for it. I mean, my office is signed up for it.
Oh yeah.
And
I didn't
it's
realize
free.
that. Yeah.
And what happens is if anybody files anything involving your property, it alerts you.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's free.
But that's something that these big companies are selling.
Oh yeah.
They're selling.
And that's why.
That's expensive too.
And
to
that's
get
why
that to protect
Brooks'
you.
office does it for free.
I didn't know that, man.
Yeah.
That's audience. That's excellent news
Mm-hmm.
right there, because elderly people are being scammed all
Mm-hmm.
the time with people coming in and changing the names on their properties. And then also too, that's good. We're leading into a very good area too, because they try to protect themselves by adding their children onto a document, which could cause them probably to lose it too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If Sue is still on drugs.
Yeah,
And
some things
you
that you
know.
I tell people all, when I do these classes for
Right.
churches and elderly people, and I tell them, I say, if Pookie wasn't worth for Poop while you were alive, he's gonna be worse when you dead. Don't put Pookie name on
Do
your stuff.
not put his name on
Because
there.
that mug, he wasn't worth for Pookie. Oh, he gonna do good by me when I die. No, he ain't. He ain't did good by you when he's alive.
Never, ever.
So he gonna do the same thing. But what Brooks does with that scam alert, man, that is just invaluable.
That is, man.
And so, you know, you have those phishing, right?
Right.
Where, you know, they basically throwing things out at you and then asking you to do something or look at something, and then they'll, you know, give you a link and click this link, and then next thing you know. But it's different than malware.
Oh.
That's the that's the last scam.
That's the last
It's the
scam.
malware scam. And it's not really malware scam, but what happens is malware is the only way to detect those
Oh,
scams.
yeah. Okay.
They put a little bug out there, and that little bug will take over your computer.
And you know the thing about it too, Daryl, it used to be that you could almost recognize a scam, especially if it's coming from another country, and it's for non-English speaking
Oh, they screw the
scammers.
words. Yeah.
The sentence is incorrectly drafted. The words are misspelled. It doesn't make sense. So all of those things should draw your attention to the fact that, hey, this doesn't look right. You know, we say it all the time. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is not true.
Well, a guy, you know, I get, you know, and again, you know, I get a lot of emails at my office from different places and everywhere. There was a few times in a row, Jerome, I got an email from somebody saying that they had this multi-million-dollar contract dispute, and they needed to have somebody local to deal
my
with
goodness. I don't know how many times
it. You know,
I see
and
that.
so I basically, you know, because it's just on my email, and my email has all these security, you know, and I said to him, I sent back to him and said, you know, schedule an appointment, send a consultation, and we'll see what you got going on. And then they'll keep going, hey, I sent you this email last time, you didn't, you know,
Right.
you didn't respond to it. Yeah, I did. So I'm not going to respond to this next one, and they'll just keep, and then I just keep deleting them.
And Sir Isaac Jones Newton has received an inheritance from his uncle, and all he needs is an attorney in your area to handle the estate.
Right.
What you need to do now is send us this amount of money, and then it's millions of dollars.
Right.
But we're unable to access it because we are out of state and we just need a local attorney. And before you know it, and that's what happens too. What they do is they feed on your, greediness maybe, to get you into one of those traps like that.
Well, you know, if something is in money that's in the estate, in your state, it's unclaimed property.
Right.
It's at the state of Tennessee. And you may need some things to get it. But the state, you can contact the state on, you know, hey, you know, you need to open up an estate for X, Y, and Z, prove that you're an heir.
Right.
And if you prove that you're an heir, we got some money for you.
And
I got $200,000 that way for somebody.
Really?
Yeah. It was two brothers. They had an aunt that lived in Tennessee that died.
Wow.
And she had no will, and they were her only two living relatives.
Wow. Periodically, they will publish a list
Yeah, that's what I heard.
of people who have monies in the unclaimed fund
Right.
somewhere. So just be alert.
Yeah.
And then always there too, in a situation like that, you didn't charge them anything up front, did you?
I did not.
Other than your consultation fee.
I didn't. Well, so it's kind of the guy who brought it to me. I charged him a consultation.
Right.
So there's people that actually go through the unclaimed property and try to help people get their money.
True.
But they do it for a fee.
Right.
And so
After the estate is settled.
and that's what happened.
That's
the guy paid me $100 consultation.
Right.
Told me what he had going on.
Right.
Then we got together and started working through it.
Right.
And we got that money. He got his percentage. I got mine.
You got a nice fee then after
Man,
that.
we
huh?
was all, man, we was on like Donkey Kong,
I know
man.
that's
We was
right.
good to go. So, all right, y'all. Look, that's a scam. You know, we spent some time on scam alerts, different types of scams. You know, at some point we may want to talk about, you know, how to fix your identity once all that gets screwed up like that.
Sure, and this is the time of year when people are really vulnerable too.
Yeah.
When they're trying to buy gifts and
Yeah.
stuff, and so, because I'd like to talk about a little bit too about bankruptcy too.
Okay.
As we get a little bit closer there to
Okay.
the holidays.
Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching the show. We'll see you back next week.